Bitcoin has taken a beating over the last 24 hours, down 3%. Ethereum down over 3%, and our Binance coin down over 4%. And the reason for this is not necessarily the Fed and the FOMC, but what happened afterwards. I'm Cody, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the breakdown of what happened today in the crypto space. So first, we're going to go ahead and talk about our Bitcoin chart TA. Bitcoin chart TA shows us that we had a pretty massive amount of volume over a 2-hour time frame. We can see here that there's over 2,000 Bitcoin trading hands over those 2 hours from about 11 to 12. And we're seeing this massive drop downwards after Jerome Powell talked. But again, this happened not because of Powell, but rather what happened with Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. If we go ahead and take a look at our funding rate, we can see here that there is an equal amount of longs and shorts vying for dominance right now. The market is not necessarily sure about which direction it's going. Recently, we've had longs pick up steam, and right now longs are dominant, but we'll see. We might actually wind up getting it flipping back and forth. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is something I posted this morning on my Twitter account, and I said that it's very likely that we'll wind up seeing a pullback and a retest of 26,800, and we did wind up getting a pullback. In fact, it went all the way down here to about 26,700, but we saw a very strong rejection off of that level, and I think that that is a very positive sign. That's our support level right there. So what caused this huge volatility? Well, first you had the Fed decision, okay? So Fed Chair Jerome Powell came out and said they're going to raise interest rates by 25 basis points. That's kind of what we expected. That's very in line with our expectations for their raise. Now, that didn't really affect Bitcoin as much. However, Janet Yellen was also giving testimony around the same time, and she said that they are not discussing the idea of what they call blanket insurance of bank deposits. Okay, so they're basically going out and saying, well, we're not going to do a blank, we're not going to do like a blank check. We're not going to do a blanket insurance of all bank deposits, okay, because previously there's a $250,000 limit, and Janet Yellen came out and said, we're not considering just allowing all deposits to be insured. And so that is what caused a massive move down for the crypto markets. We have Bitcoin taking a big tumble here. We have Ethereum taking a big tumble here. And like I said, with Binance Coin, we're also seeing a pretty big tumble. So what that means right now is that Bitcoin has been moving a little bit sideways after that dump. If we go and we zoom out and we take a look at the daily, we can see here that the RSI is still fairly high. It's down to 65 right now, and most likely we will wind up seeing a little bit more pain in the Bitcoin market as we wind up getting more FUD and more pressure, especially from the Fed and from banks. But that being said, I don't see us falling below support here at 26,800, or I don't see the next level below that would be 26,500, and the next level below that would be 25,000. So I don't see us having a huge pullback, though a pullback is probably going to wind up happening just a little bit more. We're probably going to get a little bit more of a pullback because the RSI is still fairly high for Bitcoin. So what I'm seeing here is that we could come back down here to the 26,800 level, or we could even potentially go below that level. But even if we went below that level, we're still in the middle of a long-term uptrend, and I definitely want to point out that that's still bullish for the Bitcoin price. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin spent output profit ratio, or Soper, we're seeing here that since about the 11th or so, that Bitcoin, broadly speaking, the holders of Bitcoin have been in profit. And again, above this dotted line, we're seeing profits. So since the 11th, we've seen a pretty steady hold above this level, and this is incredibly important because we need to see it hold that one level. We need to have a majority of sellers in profit. We got to have that in order to see a start of a new bull market. So far, so good. Next, I want to take a look at the Bitcoin and crypto fear and greed index. Right now, we're at 64, so fairly far into greed. However, we're not into extreme greed just yet. We did hit a little bit higher levels here on the 17th of March. That's when we had a big run up, and we sank down to about 46 below that. So right now, I think we're actually in a pretty good place for the Fear and Greed Index. Normally, I would definitely want to try to stay out of extreme greed as much as possible. That would make me a little bit more nervous. Frankly, we could wind up getting a dip after we get like an extreme greed reading, just kind of like what we have here with the RSI and it being too high, meaning Bitcoin had gotten too overbought. So for now, we're going to most likely see a little bit of a dip or a little bit of sideways moving action. Some more consolidation is necessary for Bitcoin to push above the resistance level here at 28,500. Now, if we take a look at Ethereum, however, has had difficulty pushing above this 1840 level. It's still kind of meandering around this level. It's sold off hard, just like with Bitcoin. And just like with Bitcoin, we need to see some more consolidation in order for it to move higher at that point. Now, the local support level we have right now is 1733. If that support level does not hold, then we have other support levels below at about 1700. And then below that at about 1640. So we have there's a ton of support below Ethereum at this point. Now, Binance Coin is a little bit different. Binance Coin actually went right through its support level here. It did not bounce like Bitcoin. It did not bounce like Ethereum. It went right through this 328 level. And in fact, what we're seeing right now is it's looking like it's trying to make a lower low. So Binance Coin bucks the trend. It found support at 316, but we'll see how long that lasts. It looks like it wants to come all the way down here to about 300, 304, somewhere in that range, and that's what seems the most likely to me with Binance Coin. All right. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that what Janet Yellen said is correct? Do you think that they should be insuring all deposits? Do you think that 25 basis points is going to be good for Bitcoin or bad for Bitcoin? Now, one thing I'll say about that is the fact that I do expect Jerome Powell and the Fed to wind up pausing rates in the next meeting, but the next meeting is not going to be for a little while. So that when that happens, I'll make sure I let you guys know. I'll put out a video about the Fed decision that's coming up next, the next FOMC, and how that's going to impact crypto. All right, this is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video.